You know what day it is. It's Friday, Fiverr Friday. Ah, la 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 la, ole, 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 ole. It is. Welcome to Fiverr Friday. This is Anthony Pica, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Welcome to Fiverr Friday. It is always a joy. I want to welcome everybody from Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. And if you are new to Fiverr Friday, this is a time where you post questions, comments in the chat, and I do my very best to answer them and come up with some good tips to help you grow your business on Fiverr and whatever other comments you'd like to make. And I also give a spiel about the whole thingamajigger. But just before we start, I want to ask, if you get the opportunity and you haven't done before, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification button so that when I do go live or I do post videos, because now I'm posting more videos that are not live, you'll get a notification and you'll be able to watch that video straight away so you don't miss anything. Well, I hope you're doing okay today on Friday. We've made it. And I have to tell you, for me, Fiverr has been absolutely blowing up. It has been so busy that I haven't seen it this busy in four or 5 months. So I'm very pleased that I can be helping a lot of people, because about majority of the work that I'm doing is COVID-19 related. There is a lot of e-learning as well, and there are some commercials starting to kind of pop back up. But most of the things, like just for example, right before this, I finished another video for a partnership that Illinois has with some of the small business association there. Did a nice commercial. It's not commercial, but it was just a nice video spot for them and for the people of Illinois to stay strong through all of this. We're going to get through it together. So I was very blessed and thankful to do that. And I think it came out rather well. So it's been a joy doing all of this, but it's also, kind of opened my eyes with a lot of things when it comes to working with people, because part of what I've been doing as well is working with even more voice actors. If you don't know, I'm a voiceover coach as well as a voiceover business coach. So I do acting and I do business coaching for voiceover artists, and I've been working with a lot. And it's been amazing. But, I have been noticing that there are so many of us, I think, that are still afraid to double down and go all in. And hopefully this is not you. But if it is you, that's okay too, because we've got to find a way to get past those hurdles that we have. And I want to speak to everybody, whatever plane of existence you may be on in your voiceover business, meaning that you may be someone who has your Fiverr totally decked out, but there's something in particular that you don't want to do. Okay, it could be that you don't want to put up an extra gigs on Fiverr. We're talking about Fiverr right now, of course. It could be that you don't want to send out those extra buyer requests because you think that, it's not appropriate to send out if they're looking for someone who doesn't, who's not you. There's something, maybe you don't want to put your picture on your actual thumbnail. I see it a lot that people are afraid to put themselves up. And let me tell you something. If I can put this on camera for you guys every day, you can put your face on the internet, okay? So just make sure that, you push yourself beyond what you think you're capable of, because I have learned that one thing that you think has nothing to do with your success usually has everything to do with your success. That one thing you're not doing, that one thing that is, just holding you down, that you've pushed so far out of your mind that you won't do, because you have built up all of these mental blocks thinking that, hey, it doesn't matter if I, do a podcast. It doesn't matter if I do YouTube videos. It doesn't matter if I put myself out there on social media. It doesn't matter if I do that stuff. It really doesn't. So-and-so, I heard so-and-so and so-and-so makes lots of money and they don't do that, so I don't need to do that. Okay? These things that deep down inside, we all do, including me, we have some fear about. We need to push ourselves to move past that fear. Because I'm telling you, it is unbelievable what happens to you when you push past it. When you push past the barriers that are standing in front of us, and you might think that one doesn't have anything to do with the other. That means you might think putting yourself on a YouTube video has nothing to do with your success on Fiverr, and that's where you're wrong. Those things have everything to do with your success on Fiverr and everything. Putting yourself out there, that's just one thing. But I'm talking about in general, facing your fears, doing the things you don't want to do, really, really push you beyond. Now, please, I could sit here and preach all day about how, we should go and push ourselves and do things. And, Lord knows, I could do a lot more stuff than I do too. All right. No one is at that place where they don't need to do anything more. Okay, everybody needs to do more stuff, and it's not just necessarily about your business. It might be helping your spouse. Okay, it might be doing stuff with your kids. It might be doing the lawn, whatever. We all have things we have to do, but there's always that one thing, and I know you know what I'm talking about. There's always that one thing that we don't want to do, right? That one thing that kind of we know is holding us back a little bit that we just don't want to do. And I found that when you face that and you do it, you push yourself to do it, okay? First off, you feel so much better, all right? And secondly, the secondary, reaction to that is you actually will grow your business, and you might think it's so unintentional, but man, it's amazing what happens when you face it. When you face whatever it is that's stopping you from moving forward, right? And I touch people, some people will say, I just haven't put up any more gigs. And I'm like, why haven't you put up more gigs? And it's, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I should put up this. I don't know if I should put up that. And a lot of times they are valid questions, but we cannot let that stop us from moving forward, right? We have to fumble forward in order to go forward sometimes. Okay, it's not, I always thought for a long time that when I was going to move forward, that it was going to be like, the heavenly gates were going to open up and choirs of angels were going to sing as I proceed forward. It was like, I've made it. Where does that ever, that never happens that way. It is sloppy. It is tough. It hurts. Right? Moving forward and getting better and moving up the ladder, climbing up is the hardest thing you can do. Right? I mean, it's the hardest thing you can do. Falling down is easy. Okay? While you're falling, it's super easy. When you hit the ground, it hurts like you know what. All right? But climbing and raising yourself up and going through all that stuff is downright hard. And the same thing on Fiverr. And I also want to talk to people too about your timing. I notice a lot of people want so much right now. I'm one of them. I want things right now, absolutely. But the interesting thing is, and the more I do this business, I learn that patience is such an amazing thing. Right? Patience is such an amazing thing, meaning like it really matters to remember how you're building something. You're building it. You're not throwing down something, bam, and it's done. You've got to build it and build it and build it, and it will grow and it will get bigger. All right? You've got to do something today that's going to pay off tomorrow or the next day or months from now. But if you don't start it now, It will never happen. It's like that. Oh my gosh, that Chinese bamboo story. Have you guys ever heard that story? I don't know if you have, but it's an incredible story about this bamboo tree, or what it's called, Chinese bamboo, and I can't remember. I know I heard it. I heard it on YouTube, or whatever. It might have been a preacher or a motivational speaker who was telling. But it's really an incredible story. And make a long story short about it, it's basically a story about a farmer who gets these the seeds, right, for this bamboo tree, and they're very poor. His family and them are poor, and he's got to find a way to feed everybody. And he gets the seeds, he plants it in the ground, and he starts taking care of this plant. Every day he goes out to the fields where he's planted the seeds, and waters and nurtures the soil, and waters the seeds, right? So after a year goes by, nothing happens. Right, and the people in the village are like, hey, you need to keep going, but you might want to think about getting something else. So, he's like, all right. So he keeps going. Another year goes by, and every day he goes out and waters and nurtures this plant, and nothing happens. So now the villagers and everything are starting to really get, kind of like, what's wrong with this guy? He seems a little crazy. Nothing's growing, man. You got to get something else. Your family's starving. So, he goes back and continues to do this for another year, right? So after 3 years, he's gone out and he's continued every single day to nurture the soil, water it, make sure that the ground is kept up properly. Again, nothing's happened, okay? And, mind you, he was told when he bought these seeds that, if he takes care of these seeds long enough, that it will, grow to be the largest bamboo tree that's known to man, and it'll be just something amazing that will take care of his family forever. So, at this point, the villagers think he's nuts. His family saying, we can't do this. They're thinking about leaving. And he's like, no, you got to trust me. Well, anyways, another year goes by. So 4 years goes by. Every single day he's gone out there. Every single day he's had to sell everything he could have in order to continue to nurture and water this seed, this bamboo tree that doesn't seem to grow, right? And nothing's happened. So at this point, people have kind of just started to mock him, make fun of him. He's kind of like the town weirdo now, right? Well, this goes on for one more year, and all of a sudden, as he goes out there, there's a sprout on that 5th year. Actually, the bamboo tree starts to grow. And within 1 week, the bamboo tree grows to 100 feet. 100 feet. Insane. 5 years. 5 years he had to water and nurture this plant, this seed, this ground, on complete faith. Nothing showed. Nothing happened. For all intents and purposes, there was nothing going on. Above ground, you could see nothing. But below the surface, so much was happening. An entire base was forming. And that 5th year, what people saw was unimaginable, was unbelievable. Here was a guy who had nothing, did everything he could, and 5 years of being mocked and made fun of and being crazy and selling everything and losing everything, he believed enough and kept going. And then that 5th year, something incredible happened. Now, I'm not claiming you should wait 5 years for something to happen, but I love that story, right? I love that story because it talks about so many things, about patience, about, faith, about trusting in something beyond who we are. And I know we're talking about Fiverr, so I'm going to be philosophical about that platform, about the Fiverr platform, but it's more so about us. Because the more I learn, and this limited time I've been on this earth, the more I realize that our destinies are so much more in our hands than they are in any one platform and any other individual's hands. It's all in our hands. And it's all about how we look at it and about whether we go out every single day to that field and keep watering that plant, keep tilling that ground, keep making sure everything is fine. That's what separates us from everyone else. That's what separates successful people from people who end up being mediocre. That's what makes you feel successful. Not money. I promise you, trust me, money does not make you feel successful. It doesn't. It's nice to have it, don't get me wrong, but I promise you it doesn't make you feel successful. You remember we talked about that puzzle where it's one piece of the puzzle. It's a piece. But once you put that piece in, that doesn't mean all the other pieces go in. Maybe some of them go in a little easier, but some of them actually go in harder. So money isn't going to make you feel successful. Okay? It'll just take one burden off your shoulder. But there's plenty of other ones. What makes you feel successful is that you kept going when everybody stopped. You said, I'm going to keep going out there and I'm going to keep doing it no matter what. Because I know when it happens, I can look in the mirror and I can feel that joy, that pride in what I've done and what I've completed. Guys, that's worth more than anything I could ever teach you, any money we could ever get. That feeling is worth everything, and I wish that for all of you. I wish it more than anything in the world, because there is a certain calm that comes with it that I've never experienced in my life until, I'll tell you the exact moment I experienced it. The day that I left my job, I got into my truck. It was a moment I experienced it. And the crazy thing was, it wasn't that I had left another business. Like, it wasn't that I had never left teaching before. It wasn't that I hadn't owned a restaurant in the past or I'd done other stuff. I'd done other stuff. I'd left jobs. I'd worked many jobs up to that point. So it wasn't that I was leaving a job. It was that I finally started something for myself that I wanted to do. And I built it from nothing. And it changed my life. And I went all in. I gave it everything I had. I finally gave something everything I had. Finally. If you haven't given this everything you have, you're missing out on an incredible feeling. As a teacher, I always used to say, because as students, I always used to ask, what would it be like if we actually tried 100%? Like, what would it be like if we actually tried to do something 100%, like with 100% of our effort? Think about that. How much do we actually try to do anything at 100%? Like give it everything we've got. All of our mind, all of our time, like everything. I know it's hardly anything, but I've poured it into this business, and can I tell you, it's made me feel complete. And I want that for you. Platforms like Fiverr, they are vehicles for us. Okay? They're vehicles. Some of these are better than others. I think right now, Fiverr is a very powerful vehicle. If you are not putting everything into that vehicle that it needs to go the fastest it can go, like putting all the gigs up you can put up, making sure your profile is completely filled out, making sure every aspect of your description and your files that you can upload, pictures, etc. If you're not doing all of that, you're not feeding that car everything it needs to go the fastest it can go. And this is for any website. This is for your own website. This is for any website. This is for any social media platform. This is for anything. And by the way, just because I'm telling you this doesn't mean I'm great at it. I know I got to do it too. We all got to do it. But are you pushing yourself to try? It's okay to fail. Like I always love to say, it's okay to fail if we tried our darndest to succeed. The worst thing to do is to fail and try half-ass at it. That's the worst. But I'd rather fail doing as hard as I could, because that feels completely different. All right, I don't know where we went down we went down. It's your fault. You let me go down the rabbit hole again. We're supposed to be talking about Fiverr, and I'm supposed to be taking your questions, but instead, good Lord, it's 20 minutes. Instead, I've talked for 20 minutes about, just all kinds of stuff. So, well, thank you for listening. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate it. And you'd be like, there he goes again. I'm supposed to be answering your questions. So, if you have a moment, go ahead and start putting your questions or comments into the chat. I'd appreciate it. Let's see. I want to welcome over on Instagram. We've got, Hans Acoustics. We've got Pat. What's up? We got Voice Over Katie. Hi. We've got Rondell. What's up, man? Let's see. We've got Switch over on YouTube. What's up? We've got Maestro Wilson. What's up, my man? We've got Flyer here. Hey, man. We've got Neil. Hello, Neil. Let's see. We've got Luis. Hello. Angela. Yay. We've got Nick. Hey, Nick. We've got Tom. Good to have you. We got Abed. Hello. Let's see. Ken. All right. Ken has a question maybe. Says, hi, Anthony. I seem to have been rewarded for reaching level 1 by being dropped 8 to 10 pages. Well, congrats on level 1. Not so congrats on congrats on dropping 8 to 10 pages. Is this Fiverr's typical way of testing one's worthiness? Good question, Ken. I'm smiling because because I relate to the feeling that you have of I worked really hard to get to this point and this is how I'm rewarded. So I'm just giggling after how you worded it. But I can tell you that I firmly believe, now again, I don't have some inside track, and I do not work for Fiverr, you know what I mean? I'm not paid by them, and I don't have some secret, newsletter I get from them every week about the internal workings, although that would be cool. But I will say that all of my dealings with them on multiple levels, I get the idea that I don't think it's as, yes, they have an algorithm. Yes, they're intentional in making business decisions, but I don't think they're actually pulling strings as much as we think they are. I think their algorithm ends up doing things, it screws up or does certain things, and they have to go back and fix them. And I think that happens a lot. Plus, I think what happens too is they promote you in certain ways. They do certain things. Those promotions end. They switch you up with other people. I mean, if you haven't noticed, there's some people, right, especially the people who have a lot of repeat business that stay up front, but even that, there's constantly people moving around. I move from the front to, sometimes I go on there, I can't even find myself. Sometimes I go in there, I can. Okay, so, and I'm a top rated seller, so it is a challenge. But what I would say, Ken, is if that continues to happen, I would look at your account and say, okay, have I put everything up that I can? Have I put all my gigs up? Have I really tweaked them to make sure that all my copy is sales copy? Have I looked at my title? Have I looked at my tags? Am I getting impressions? Or am I getting impressions? Am I getting clicks? Am I getting views? Are people clicking and viewing, but they're not buying? Is it my pricing? Is it my, let's be honest, is it your demo? Is your demo what people on Fiverr are looking to purchase? Okay, you got to ask all these questions, and the algorithm will take care of itself. I promise you. Okay, if you do all of those things. But good question, Kim. Let's see. Have I been assigned this seemingly Herculean task of climbing out the hole and prove my value to them? No, I think hopefully what I said earlier was I think, you gotta just keep going, man. You'll prove it to yourself. And the amazing thing is once you actually prove it to yourself, I know this sounds so weird and it just doesn't make sense. But when you do, it's amazing how the doors of everything else seem to open once you prove it to yourself. And you prove it to yourself by doing massive amounts of work, just going all in 100%. All right, like I said, stumbling forward every chance you can get. All right, Jeremy says, there is nothing better than working your butt off and have it all come together. Amen to that, Jeremy. Amen to that. All right, let's see. We've got Queen Princess. When you get a job to dub your voice, I hate dubbing, your voice to a video, do you actually add it to the video footage and turn it in the video with the audio too? Or do you just send the timed audio? All right, Queen Princess, what you need to do is ask. You need to ask them or you need to ask your client because half of them could want you to do that and the other half just want you to send them the audio. So you really need to ask them. If all things being equal, no one says anything, I'm not going to add it to the video. I'm just going to send them the file, okay, done exactly by the directions they've given me. Does that make sense? Like if they tell me to dub, all right, I'm going to dub it, but then they tell me you got to time sync it. Like these are all different things. It can be really challenging. All right. And so like that's why I actually don't offer dubbing. It's the only service that I won't really do. I guess I would do it if someone agreed to pay me a lot of money. But perfect example, the other day, I didn't want to do a dubbing job. They were going to pay me, I think, like $150 to do 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. I was just like, no way. I'm just not doing it. It's not. I said I was like, you get pay me $300 and I'll think about it. But I just hate dubbing. You found it. You found it. Queen Princess, that is what I won't do. You found the thing that I just won't do. Voiceover. All right. Let's see. Maestro Wilson, thank you for that motivation, sir. That is something that we all need, and I need as I take on this endeavor called voiceover. Thank you. Thank you so much. Gary, what's up, Gary? Homecraft Chronicles. What type of copy and where do you find it for use in e-learning demo? So a great way to find e-learning copy is actually go on Google and type in training. Type in a major company and type in training. Okay, and you'll find all sorts of copy on their website. And no company is going to come after you for you freely marketing them. So people are afraid to use copy and stuff in that sort of manner as a sample. No one is going to be upset with you. No company. Ford is not going to be upset with you if you go to Ford and use some of their amazing copy to promote Ford products. They're not going to be upset with you. No one is going to be upset with you. The only time that you get in trouble is when you take something, okay, and then try to sell the actual tangible thing you took as your own, okay? But we're not selling anything, okay? We're not. We're doing samples and actually promoting these businesses through our samples. So you have to think of it that way, okay? All right. Let's see. CB says, happy Friday. What's up? John, hello, my man. John from Texas, soaking up info. Good to have you, John. Brian, hey, Anthony, thanks again for the gig review. Still working on improvements. Awesome, Brian. Keep me posted, my man. Let's see. JC, I've noticed some rankings weirdness. You were always on page 1 of American Male Voiceover. I think you were on page 4 the other day when I checked. It just happens. They switch people around, but you got to understand too, they also promote us in different places than just on the site, right? They retarget, meaning if someone comes, they retarget them if they looked at us. You have to think too, people favorite you and they come back to you. You don't know who's favorited you and come back to you. But yes, you're right. I mean, you jump up and down. I had a huge burst. What probably happened, JC's, I had a huge burst in traffic, and it probably happened through because I hit a certain peak of money that I think I made in a certain short period of time with the right set of stuff, and I got boosted or something, and then that went back down. So, I mean, that's okay. That happens. It's fine. I'm still getting plenty of business. So, but yeah, you're right. And then I've heard a bunch of people who've been dropped a lot and other people who've gone up. So I think it's Fiverr rotating. Fiverr rotates to try to give everybody a shot at it. The big thing you want to do is try to make sure you hold on to those customers once you get them, right? Do your very best so that you get repeat customers. That's the big thing. Zach says, this story is so relevant for VO. I'm just under 1 year and things are starting to happen. In a way, it flew by, but at the same time, it has felt like 5 years. Absolutely. Dave, what's up? Swag link, please. Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Dave. Let's see. Alden, dubbing is crazy. Never again without a script. Oh, ooh, yeah, that's even rough. All right, Queen Prince says, wait, what is the difference between dubbing and time syncing your audio? I thought it was the same thing this whole time. No, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about that. I for a long time I didn't know what the difference is. But basically, when you're dubbing something, that's like that's like if a company comes to you and they have a video company comes to you and they have a video in Spanish. there's a couple of different ways to dub, right? There's like I've played characters who were Spanish, that were speaking in Spanish, and I had to dub those characters into English. And what I had to do is they wanted it, even though it was in Spanish, they still wanted me to try to match up the words I was saying with what they were saying. So dubbing is basically you're dubbing over someone else. Okay, a perfect example of it too is, I don't know if you've seen that Liberty Mutual commercial where they got that young guy, he's like, I'm an actor, and he messes up all the time, and they're like, don't worry, we'll just dub it. And then they show him talking, and it's a voiceover artist. It's like this young guy, and you hear, welcome to Liberty Mutual, right? You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. So it's when you have to put a voiceover over someone talking and try to match it up. Audio sync is when you are seeing it can cover a bunch of things. Okay, it can cover, like I was doing an audio sync video earlier where they had writing. There's certain time points in the script they want you to meet, and you need to sync up your audio with their time. Does that make sense? Okay. Good question. Let's see. Dubbing. Anthony will do anything for love, but he won't do. Yes, but he won't do that. Meatloaf. I love it, Walter. You're my new best friend. All right, Switch Gaming. Dubbing is something that I really want to do more of. Well, good for you, Switch. You have, you're going to go far because, I can't stand it. Christopher, dubbing, like watching the old Kung Fu. Yeah, that's right. It's right. It's like watching the old Kung Fu movies, where there's somebody talking and they're like, I will kill you now. That kind of thing. Walter Bryan, Liberty Bibbity. Yes, Liberty Bibbity. I love that. In English. All right, you guys. Well, hey, listen, so thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any other questions, real quick, post them. Other than that, please, again, take a minute if you haven't and subscribe. Also, hit the like button, share, comment, and all that jazz. Also, I want to tell you, tomorrow we have our Fiverr Elite session. You've got under 24 hours now to sign up for the next session, which is tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. And there'll be a link below. You can also find it on the website of VOsJourney.com. And we basically come together. I think we've got over 50 members now, or close to 50 members. And we basically get together and go over stats. You get to look at my site, and together we use those things and analytics and experiences. We have multiple top-rated sellers in our group, and we all work together to try to grow each other's business on Fiverr. It is one of my favorite times of the week besides Fiverr Friday. But I definitely always look forward to my Saturday meeting with the amazing Fiverr Elite group. So thank you guys again so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay healthy. Stay safe. It really is wonderful to see all of you guys watching. But again, as always, and I'd like to end all the shows with my heart, my prayers, my thoughts go out to all of you and your families and your loved ones, and also the many thanks to all the frontline workers out there. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.